LeBron James' last contract will include a special clause, one of the first in NBA history, for nepotism. I'm James Curran, and this is your snarky sports update for Los Angeles area teams. This is for faithful Angelinos. February 20th, 2022. Good afternoon. What can I tell you? Well, we can start with a quick check of the scoreboard. Last night in the NHL, the Kings defeated Arizona 5-3. UCLA basketball defeated Washington 76-50. And over in preseason in Major League Soccer, the Galaxy tied DC United 2-2, and a funky little team called LAFC beat the daylights out of the New York Red Bulls 6-1. Today, if you have the chance, at 4:30 p.m. West Coast time, USC will take on Washington State. It's a game you can watch over on Fox Sports 1. Welcome back. If you saw the clip last night, if you are a longtime fan, clickety-clack the like or subscribe buttons. Definitely look forward to trying to build a relationship, build a following here. You might also notice brand new microphone, because we try to record these things on devices, and unfortunately the weak squad over at Best Buy, not too good at figuring out what hooks up with what. This one doesn't hook up either. So yeah, basically so far I've thrown about $250 down, and all I've got to show for it are glow-in-the-dark marital aids. Happy belated Valentine's Day, love. Welcome. Let's talk about something that was recently said that is going to unnerve the Los Angeles area fan base. LeBron James went to The Athletic on Saturday. By the way, very good buy if you get it. They cover sports very, very well. LeBron James tells The Athletic on Saturday, "My last year will be played with my son. Wherever Bronny is at, that's where I'll be. I would do whatever it takes to play with my son for one more year. It's not about the money at that point." Well. 4 sentences and a heck of a lot to unpack with that, I have to say. Now, let's set the base for this whole thing. LeBron's son, Bronny, is a junior over at Sierra Canyon. That is high school over in Chatsworth. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the LA area, Chatsworth is north of Los Angeles. You go down south, and that's where Kobe Bryant lived. You go towards the west, and that's Simi Valley. And all you have to know about Simi Valley is that's where the people who lived there thought Rodney King had it coming. So yeah, not exactly a place that I'd want to live either, but so be it. Bronny has some talent, but it's talent that may or may not be dipping. According to 247sports.com, he is the 34th best player in his class. He is a junior in high school. That's a bit of a slippage. Going into high school, he was ranked 19th. Now, how these things come about, I literally have no idea. LeBron is currently under contract with the Lakers for 2023. His son will not be eligible for the NBA draft until 2024. LeBron James will be 39 at that time. So lots, as I mentioned, to unpack. We have no idea what's going on in his mind, that being LeBron Sr. As for his son, he's a teenage boy. We know what goes through the minds of teenage boys. We'll just punt on that for a while. There are a lot of moving parts in play here. Look, the here and now, the Lakers are 27-31. They stink. There's no other way around it. They have 2 of the top 6 or 7 players in the NBA right now, and yet they're fighting to go into the NBA postseason play-in tourney. There's injuries. There's a little bit of sniping that you can kind of tell between the front office and former players and the current roster. And the trade deadline for the NBA just passed, and the general manager, Rob Pelinka, did absolutely nothing. He wants the players to figure that out. And honestly, I think I have to defend Pelinka on that one. That is not unfair to ask for the players to figure it out eventually. They have, in addition to James, you also know that they have Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. This is a trio that those 3 players wanted to create. If you wanted to create it, you have to admit it's on them to figure it out. But having said that it hasn't been a good fit, having said that the team has been losing to clearly inferior rosters, we have to call this for what it is. And I think you could say it's somewhat of a fair guess that LeBron is not a Laker. Oh, he wears the jersey now. He's just not a Laker. He's not Magic. He's not Kobe. He may very well wind up getting a statue, but let's be real. I tend to doubt it. You think of LeBron James, you'd either think of Miami or you definitely think of Cleveland. This move to Los Angeles, I think the thing that we've learned about LeBron James, if I may be so bold, I think he's a cynical man. And I believe that because I'm a cynical man. And I think I can spot a cynic when I can see one. So the point being is that I think he came to Los Angeles purely for money. And I don't just mean money in terms of the contract. I think that he came here because basketball is huge in Asia, particularly China. Massive market that the NBA has wanted to continue to gain a bigger hold of. Now, if you're the National Basketball Association and you want more yuan coming into the coffers, is it better for LeBron James to stay in Cleveland, or is it better for him to be in one of the most recognizable media markets in the entire globe? There's my point. So no, I don't think I think he was just kind of, I think he basically went for the money grab, and that's always a cynical way to approach it. And now that he's worth $500 million. Now that money is not in the equation anymore, I don't think he cares if Bronny gets drafted by the Utah Jazz. So be it. He just won't drink Diet Coke for a couple of years, and away he goes at that. But it brings to mind another question. Would you, if the Lakers, be willing to cede to LeBron's demands and draft LeBron's kid? I'm not sure you do. I'm not that sure anymore. Look, LeBron's game, and I've been watching a lot of Laker games over the last couple of days, DVR'd. And in addition to stinking, I think LeBron has finally reached the age where his game is changing. He's not driving the hole with reckless abandon, even like he did when the Lakers won that 17th title over in the bubble, over in Orlando. He's settling for a lot more jumpers. How do we know this? We know this because his scoring average is still effective at 29.1 points per game, but he is at a career low for trips to the free throw line. So he's not drawing fouls the way he used to. And if you think about it, the Lakers are not effective if their guards do not drive the hole. Kobe, when he got old, he started settling for outside jumpers. James Worthy, he wasn't a guard, but James Worthy always had that spin move in the 1980s to attack the rim. Toward the end of his career, he didn't spin toward the basket, he spun away from the basket to shoot over his defender. So this is very common among players as they age. But the Lakers need to get to the free throw line to get those cheap points to be effective. Now, I don't think necessarily that that LeBron is the reason that the Lakers are awful at this time, but I think that plays a fact. So, do you trade that? Do you sign Bronny's kid? I'm not sure you do. I don't know what the solution is, but it seems to me that unless Bron's kid has an amazing collegiate career, he's going to continue to drop. From 19th going into high school, 34th now. Where would he be by the end of however many years he spends in college? There's a very distinct chance he's a marginal pick at best. So, if I were the Lakers, and this is just me speaking out loud, if you disagree, totally cool. Feel free to comment. Love to hear it, even if you think I'm full of more crap than an obese man's bedpan. If you're the Lakers, I think you let him go with the most sincerest thank you that you can muster. He may not be a Laker in the sense that we look at Magic, or we look at Kobe, or we look at Elgin Baylor, or all these other, or Jerry West as we do, with such reverence. But he did give the franchise that all-important 17th ring. In addition to that, millions upon millions of jersey sales. I mean, if you really think about it, do you think people really were all that hyped to buy a Lonzo Ball jersey? No. A Brandon Ingram jersey? Where are those guys now? Remember when people thought that the Lakers lost that trade? Yeah, that didn't happen. Having said that, there are risks involved. I'm looking at the free agent class for 2023. It's not good. I mean, they are throwing out names of Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid and Zion Williamson. First of all, with the prior two, they're restricted free agents. That means they're not all that likely to be let go by their team. And Zion Williamson, well, let's be real. In order for Zion Williamson to make the next level in the NBA, he needs to learn the following two words. I'm full. Push away from the table, dude. Mix in a salad. I mean, So it's not a good situation for the Lakers to be in. But at that point, you also have to recognize that a man pushing his 40s, you're asking maybe somebody who might be in the top 15, top 20 players by then, but not an elite player. Would you let a player between, say, 10 and 20 dictate your team? You wouldn't. So, in conclusion, just want to wish you guys a good afternoon. Later tonight, we are going to be chatting up something different. I am going to be watching USC, and I am very much interested. I like what they have going on down in Troy. We'll see what their basketball team has been up to, see what we could talk about and how far they might be able to go in the NCAA tournament. But until then, feel free to follow me on Instagram at Curran Writes, Twitter at Curran Writes, where I talk a lot more sports, obviously, than the stupid selfies on Instagram. And we'll look forward to talking to you later. Till then, it's James. Have a good afternoon.